I'm trying to understand what's going on with the Washington Redskins here, Andrew. What was a better deal, what the Redskins offered or what Kirk Cousins decided to do?
We're going to wait till February, March to find out, Dan. Unfortunately, we don't have an answer right now. But the Redskins continue, as I always say, to want to date him and not marry him. And I think their strategy, their offer they publicly put out, which we can talk about, could be a mistake, shows that, you know, they like him very much. They don't love him. And it ultimately gets back, as I always say, to the collective bargaining agreement, which allows them to do this. So they can negotiate aggressively. They can negotiate as if he's not a free agent because he's not. So if he says no, okay, we'll see you in February. Play for us this year.
Well, it feels like then both sides got what they wanted, that Cousins will play, gets paid, and then if he plays well, then they can franchise him if that's the case. If not, then he's free to go play for the San Francisco 49ers. And Washington, who can't decide if they want to marry him or just date him, then they can move on to somebody else. Is that how you see it?
I think so. I also think, you know, these people predicting some blockbuster monster contract from the 49ers or someone else come March, you know, it's a perfect storm. They've got to figure out, okay, he has a great year. The 49ers don't like what they've had in quarterback, whether the veterans they signed or the rookie they drafted. Other teams don't have the priority, or they do have the priority. Cousins is out there, the transition tag. I mean, there's a lot of steps to get to a big free agent contract next year, and ultimately the Redskins know that. And if they put $24 million on him this year, who's to say they won't put $28 million on him next year, which is the transition tag, and let all comers come and see if they can make an offer that really floats their boat more than $28 million cap room they've already allocated. So again, I continue to wonder how people see Kirk Cousins having this extraordinary leverage when he's just negotiating with one team.
What did the Derek Carr offer do to Kirk Cousins or the Redskins?
I think it made a deal harder, and it's not so much the $25 million average or the $125 or whatever the number was. It's the starting point. So consider this. Derek Carr had $1 million scheduled for 2017. Kirk Cousins had $24 million scheduled for 2017, and that's what he'll make. So to be kind of apples to apples, the way you look at these contracts, Kirk Cousins would have had to make $23 million more than Derek Carr, and that's a hard deal to make because when you have these guys coming off rookie contracts, like if they did Kirk Cousins after year 3, that would be comparable. But since he's in this advantaged state with the number so high this year, I think it made a deal hard.
I'm also looking at this. Let's say they franchised him this year, and he has a good year. They franchise him next year. If I'm looking at the money that they have to pay him, that's going to be more than the guaranteed money they were going to offer him for this contract in the first place. So if I'm Kirk Cousins and I really believe in myself, why wouldn't I roll the dice here and say I can make more money in 2 years? I don't have to sign this long-term deal that who knows if I'm going to make that $72 million you're going to be offering me.
I think it's a good point. First of all, I don't think the franchise tag will be in play next year. That number in the mid-30s is going to be prohibitive. But I do think, as I mentioned, the transition tag could be in play. And again, let all comers come and see if they can knock Kirk Cousins' socks off to sign an offer sheet. Here's the thing, Dan. It just seems to me that Kirk Cousins, if the Redskins really wanted to make this deal happen, they could have. The thing that I think upset the agent was they wanted to offer basically next year's guaranteed like a transition tag. They offered like 29 additional guarantee. And then 4 years of unsecured money. And I always talk about NFL contracts are really illusory and team options. I mean, if they made it a shorter deal where he could have another bite at free agency maybe in 4 years, or if they made some kind of additional guarantee in the third year, which, again, I just think Kirk Cousins is such a preternaturally kind guy that he almost wants to make a deal happen. But the Redskins, in my mind, didn't try that hard. It just keeps getting back to how they feel about him, not loving, but liking.
Yeah, why would you want to stay with the team that doesn't view you as a franchise quarterback.
Again, back to the CBA, you have no choice. So Kirk Cousins, by the end of this year, will have completed 3 contracts with his rookie deal and 2 franchise tags with no ability to sniff another team. And that is a restriction that the CBA gives the Redskins, and they've used it. And again, people talk about a lot of money year to year. Yes, but you, me, everyone, I think they would rather have security. The Redskins just haven't given an offer to make that. And again, to publicly state an offer where people like me could pick it apart, I don't get that.
Good to talk to you again, Andrew. Thank you. We appreciate you crunching numbers for us.
Always a pleasure, Dan. Thanks.
That's Andrew Brandt, sports business columnist for the MMQB.com, also Sports Illustrated.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.